Hello students, let's start with a question. Why does a hot air balloon rise into the sky when we heat the air inside it? Or why does a football left outside on a cold winter morning look deflated? These mysteries fascinated scientists for centuries until Jacques Charles came along. Charles carefully studied how the volume of gases changes with temperature. He discovered something amazing. For every degree rise in temperature, the volume of a gas expands in a fixed proportion, provided pressure is kept constant. In fact, he showed that a gas increases or decreases by 1 to 73rd of its volume at 0 degrees Celsius for every degree of rise or fall in temperature. This discovery became immortalized as Charles' law. So let's state the law clearly. At constant pressure, the volume of a fixed mass of gas is directly proportional to its temperature measured on the absolute scale. In simple words, if you heat it, it expands. If you cool it, it contracts. Mathematically, we write V is proportional to T. That means volume divided by temperature is a constant. And when we plot volume against temperature, the graph is a neat straight line through the origin. This is why balloons grow bigger in the sun and shrink in the fridge. They're just following Charles's law. Charles didn't just stop at observing expansion. When he extended his volume temperature graph backward, it predicted that at minus 273 degrees Celsius, the volume of a gas would become zero. That magical point is called absolute zero, the lowest possible temperature. In reality, gases liquefy long before reaching it, but the concept was revolutionary. This led to the Kelvin scale of temperature, where absolute zero is defined as 0 Kelvin. The conversion is simple. Temperature in Kelvin equals temperature in Celsius plus 273. For example, 25 degrees Celsius is 298 Kelvin. On the Kelvin scale, there are no negatives, which makes our gas equations behave beautifully. Now let's write the mathematical form. Suppose a gas initially has volume V1 at temperature T1. On heating or cooling, its conditions change to volume V2 at temperature T2 with pressure constant. According to Charles's law, V1 over T1 equals V2 over T2. That's the Charles's law equation we use to solve numerical problems. Remember, the temperatures must always be in Kelvin, never in Celsius. Otherwise, the math will betray you. This linear relation between volume and absolute temperature is the backbone of so many real world gas calculations. Now, how do we actually solve questions using Charles' law? Step 1. Always convert temperatures to Kelvin. Step 2. Identify what is given and what is missing. Step 3. Use the formula V1 over T1 equals V2 over T2. Step 4. Rearrange to solve for the unknown. Step 5. Check unit consistency for volume, whether it's milliliters, liters, or cubic centimeters. The biggest exam blunder is students using Celsius straight into the formula. Remember, Charles's law speaks only the Kelvin language. Let's practice with a problem. A gas has a volume of 200 milliliters at 37 degrees Celsius, which is 310 Kelvin. It is heated at constant pressure until its final volume becomes 500 milliliters. What is the final temperature? Let's apply the formula. V1 over T1 equals V2 over T2. Substituting values, 200 over 310 equals 500 over T2. Cross multiply and we get T2 equals 500 times 310 divided by 200. That gives 775 Kelvin. Subtract 273 and you get 502 degrees Celsius. That's the final temperature. See, with the formula and careful unit conversion, the answer falls right into place. Where do we see Charles's law in action? Everywhere. Hot air balloons rise because heating the air expands its volume and reduces density. Car and bicycle tires puff up on hot days because the trapped air expands. Aerosol sprays and gas-filled thermometers also rely on this principle. Together with Boyle's law, Charles's law forms the basis of the combined gas law and ultimately the ideal gas equation. PV equals nRT. So, to sum up, Charles's law is the simple but powerful truth that volume of a gas expands linearly with its absolute temperature. It connects the invisible dance of molecules with the visible behaviors of balloons, tires, and more. I hope today's journey showed you how chemistry is not confined to books. It floats above us in balloons, hides in every spray can, and even drives the engines of progress. Catch you in the next class, where we'll unravel more invisible secrets of matter.